Do some more interactive coaching, but I decided to try this. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I got these little timers. So actually, it makes sense. If I'm teaching you to value your time in the long macro term, your life, I want us to value our time even while we're here. And so I want everybody to be able to talk, but I'm going to do it in little, I think these are 3 or 4 minute. Oh, it's 3 minutes. And we'll see if it works. And if it's a dumb idea, then I'll chuck them. So, uh, welcome back for another session of your To Die for a Life group coaching. Or this week, I've renamed it How to Finally Get Off Your Butt, all of those butts in your life, and Start Living group coaching. Every week I'm going to come up with another way to describe what I want this to be. And basically, my job here is to prevent you from having a bunch of I should have thoughts in your final moment. So lace up your adventure boots or grab your best bunny slippers and let's get going with today's session. I'm going to arm you with some effective death-aware wisdom that'll kick your rear into gear for a life that's not just lived, but truly loved. Geez, I'm looking at that. I'm thinking you can get the girl out of the advertising agency, but you can't get the advertising agency out of the girl. That is such marketing speak. I'm sorry. Okay, so another reminder, because I think repetition works, repetition works, repetition works. And one of the core beliefs of this coaching and in the book and now in my own life is that if you want to be good in bed, in deathbed, that you have to think about your ultimate goal for your life, how you want to feel on your deathbed. And your true mission for your life is to learn lessons that help you to stretch yourself into your highest potential self. So when you're there at those final moments, you're like, damn, I really did. Every time I came up against a struggle or a challenge, or every time I realized, aha, I'm heading in the wrong direction, I redirected myself. I really did do everything I could to become my highest potential self. And the good thing of that kind of philosophy is it's not about like how much money did I make, how many awards. No, it's did you do everything you could for your particular authentic self become your best self. And so it's a way also of metabolizing any struggles, challenges, failures, disappointments. That's all there to help you to grow into your highest potential self. So you don't view it with a negative lens, but you remember how well you you dealt with those struggles because you were operating with the mindset that you were going to move through everything as your highest potential self. So that's like the overall philosophy here that I want you to be thinking about. So yes, so here is, I'm going to check in with you guys. I'm going to see if this is smart or dumb. So we'll find out. I want to see how you guys are doing. Um, and I want to check in about anything you want to talk about. I want you to share if you've been thinking more about your core values this week, if you've done any brave acts, how you feel about the whole school area. If I want to know also, because I want to know how valuable it is to have a community, or if you feel like it's homework, or if there's anything else you just want to share, ask, suggest. So that's why we're here right now at this moment. So I want to bring you each in one at a time. PJ, do you want to go first? I see you first. Oh, wait, I can't hear you. Could you turn up your volume?
Yes, I was muted. Is this better?
Much better.
Okay, super. You'll be able to hear the flash cat too because he's whining for treats right about now. He thinks he has me trained. So core values were really pretty easy for me. The hard part was to limit it. I have integrity, compassion, creativity, curiosity, humor, and service.
That's right.
And there are probably others but those were the top of mind ones that came up I haven't done a deep dive into comparing one against another or ranking them or there goes the tail or anything like that. But uh, I was able to do but I have them on paper. Yay. And my brave thing that I did this week was to say no to the dog that was going to be way much more than what I would be able to handle well at this point. She was there. There was a lot of sort of breeder secret speak in that I had to decipher, and one of the things was this 80-pound dog loves to give hugs. Well, that means she likes to hop up on you and put her on
Ah,
the shoulders, and they've been encouraging that. She's 4 years old. She's been a breeder for them, and they want to now start going on vacation. They haven't had a vacation in 10 or 15 years, so they are rehoming these animals. So that also means she's only lived in a kennel. It doesn't mean that she's a good house guest or a good house dog or that she's even potty trained because she can go in and out of a doggy door 24/7. It
right.
doesn't mean that she can walk on a leash with good manners. It doesn't mean she has any basic obedience. And that, while those are all trainable issues, they are not for me at this time. So I had to say no to my heart and yes to my head and let her go. And she was a 6 hour round trip drive to go get that
Mm.
dog. And so I could buy trouble a lot closer to home
It's-
if I
You're
wanted
very
to.
funny. I can see you're tapping into the core value of humor.
There
So,
we are. There we are. I,
Um,
I'm set up for a dog, just not having one right now.
well, I'm proud of you for that. Oh, and according to this,
Oh, we're done.
yeah.
Okay.
So I also want to say today we're going to touch upon something called a life audit, where we look at how to edit out the stuff that we don't need. And in a weird way, you did a life audit when you looked at whether or not this dog belonged in your life or not. So you're already precociously going into the next part of this. So well done.
Thank
Um,
you.
Okay, next, Laura LeBlanc, welcome.
Hey Karen.
Yay, Laura's here.
Yay, yay. I'm so
Laura,
happy to be
oh,
here. Sorry I missed the first couple, but I'm here now. Um, so obviously I'm a little bit behind in the exercises, but I have to say just in your opening kind of slides and in talk, when you were mentioning the goal is to reach your highest potential, that's like something that's been on my mind for months. Like when I started thinking about what's my why do I want to do certain things? And I think it's really because I want to feel like, I'm working toward my highest potential. And I even have some affirmations that I've been trying to most mornings, say to myself that are on that same vein, like things like I'm choose to becoming the best version of myself possible, like I'm letting go of limiting beliefs and, embracing my true potential. So it's kind of all on that vein. And I've been kind of following, what you've been doing on social media, and I pre-ordered your book, yes, and your everything, all the posts regarding, this whole "You're to die to, for a life" are so resonating with me, and yeah, so I'm really happy to be here. So I guess that's what I'll say. In terms of core values, obviously, I haven't spent a lot of time thinking about that, but I should. But clearly, some of the ones you mentioned. I mean, I'm a very curious person by nature. You know, um, I like I like to see the humor in life when I'm not too drowning in my own worry, right?
sure,
But
sure.
so it is a coping mechanism when kind of like you have those phases, right? Where sometimes you're just worrying too much and too stressed, and then you kind of can step back sometimes and just see the humor in the situation, which has always been a coping mechanism for me. I mean, there's a lot, obviously. There's, and some I'm not living as much as I should, right? Like just um letting go of the little stuff, just being more again, this is on the same line as curiosity, like more like childlike, like let everything just be a new learning experience. I have a puppy that's getting a little easier. He just turned 7 months. But having a having a puppy is kind of like having a toddler and stuff too, right? So you see like, everything is just new and exciting, right? And so it just reminds you of embracing the moment more.
Mm.
Um, and then just, you know, I guess being more tuned in to the present and the people around you that you care about and things like that. So,
Well, they're all
um,
those core values are hidden in there, like
yeah,
empathic love, being mindful. And I do think dogs are like little mindful devices because sometimes I'll be just walking around my apartment and the dog will be there and they'll be so cute that I'm like stopped in my tracks by their cuteness. And it
right.
puts me in a mindful moment,
Mhm.
just by them like, oh, that's so cute. And then whatever I'm thinking gets like put down a few notches just to go, oh, that's so cute.
Mhm.
So, thank you for sharing that. I'm excited. I'm sure you're going to catch up quickly because I think you're already living a life where you do, as you said, valuing becoming your highest potential. So I think you're going to catch up quickly. And I'm glad you're here. And I love your
Thank you.
daughter. Laura
Oh
has
my God, I
love
love that you love my daughter. She's so blessed to have you as a mentor.
Laura's daughter, I helped her with her novel, very talented writer. And then she moved to New York and we met up and I love her. So you did a good job mama-ing.
Oh, thank you. She loves you too. I love you too. So there you go.
It's all over the place. I love you
It's all
all.
over the place. All this love,
Okay,
big
next,
love.
Megan, I'm starting you now. Hi, welcome.
Hey, hey, thank you. Trying to, I'm sure you can see me. I don't know where I am on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge that I'm very grateful for this process. Like all of us, I think I have a lot of other things going on, and um, at times, just the biggest benefit I've experienced is just simply being here and knowing that I'm connected with this group and process and with what you're offering, Karen, and just having it, as the week and the in-between time. Um, I'm finding that there are reflections that come from it. I haven't been keeping up with all of the like actual doing the work, and yet it's definitely in my consciousness. Um, and I'm feeling that influence and impact there. Um, and yeah, is there anything else specifically I can address that would be
I think even just knowing that we're talking about this, even if you don't know you're doing homework during the week because we talked about it, you're thinking about it. And so you're being a little bit more conscious. And then the more you do
yeah,
it, the more you're going to be letting that be part of your thinking as you go through your week. So I think,
absolutely.
and I don't want the school area to feel like homework or, use it if you feel it's helpful. But I know everybody's so busy. So I don't know how much that's a positive or a negative, and just so use it whatever feels right for you. There's no pressure.
Thank
If all
you.
you do is show up here, but it's all rattling around and you're thinking it in your conscious and subconscious, then that's good enough too. So, okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Megan. Okay.
Thank you.
Next up, Bonnie. Here we have one for you. Welcome back.
There we go. Um, so at core values, I think I they're things that I've done most of my life. And so I think I'm shopping for new core values, to be honest.
Oh,
So a lot of things that everyone else has already said resonate with me. Um, Trying to find my new why. A lot of my why disappeared in the last few years. Um, Yeah, people died that I loved very much, including my boss that I opened the practice with, things I think I probably said the first visit. And so, yeah, I'm just trying to find out who I'm going to be for the rest of my time. So my core values were devotion to family, tenacity as an advocate, love of home and pets, commitment and loyalty, service to others. And something I inherited from my dad is to be an appreciator. My dad appreciated, just random people for things that he noticed. He was a good noticer and appreciator, without jealousy, which as I've gotten older, I realize a lot of times people are jealous instead of just, appreciating and maybe being in awe of another person's good qualities. So anyway, I think that's pretty much where I'm at. I do reflect a lot over the week as well since we've started this, which has been helpful. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. A brave act for the week was I said no to something, which
Okay.
is not like me. And yeah, I'm not sure exactly what else to say, Karen. I mean, that's where I'm at. I really appreciate this and I look forward to it every week. So
Thank you. Well, we're going to get into finding your why. That is part of it. And what I liked that jumped out at me when you said noticer, like, which is another way of saying mindful, but like noticing the details and things. I like the word noticer, like where you appreciate by noticing. And I
yeah,
like the
I
word.
was lucky to have a dad who was like that. If he was driving down the street and somebody planted nice flowers in their yard, he would be, "Oh, did you see the flowers they planted? What a nice job they did." Like he was that kind of a guy. Or just, yeah, yeah, no jealousy, just
I
a
think,
good noticer and appreciator.
yeah, and maybe it's because I'm a writer, but I don't even think it's just because I'm a writer. Words do really have power, even if I wasn't a writer. But the word noticer kind of gets me to look at life differently. Like if I wrote an I am and so I do thing, I'm a noticer. And so I notice, you know, what's good in a day more. I notice the beauty, or I notice when someone does something special, or just changing your identity. Again, the core value I am, so I do. To own I am a noticer. I think I would go through my day differently, even differently than if I said I am mindful.
Mm.
So I appreciate hearing that word today. Thank you for that.
Okay.
Okay. All righty. Next, uh, Laura.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello. Can
Okay.
you hear me?
Yeah, so now we have,
Yeah,
you're up.
yeah.
Anything you want to share from this week?
It was an amazing week already. Like the first week, that was very essential and to the point. The second week was the same, and I was writing my eulogy and all those things. And everything changed a little bit because yesterday, this night, I had a dream. Which was very profound, and it was in fact about my life and all those things. And I understood that what matters the most to me, what it really was about in my life, it was connection. It was making connection not only to the people, but in the first place to the nature, to the earth, to the animals, because people are just a part of nature. But for me, it was really the soul of humanity, the soul of the nature where I belong also. And I understood through the dream how I connect to my soul through animals, through nature, through trees. It just put me into the nature under the tree, and I get the most wonderful insights and clarity and whatever, and how important it is. And I always honor it. But in my dream, I could feel that it was really all essential. That was if I wanted to be connected with my soul, I needed to do that.
I love
And
that.
yeah, and it was very, very profound, and it makes also that things became essential again, like the first week, second week, to focus only just on that. and also understand what happens in my life, what happens in lives of others, because everything is interconnected. What I am connecting to, and if I'm connecting, and the connection is commitment also. It's the same word, it's the same sentence, same sense. If I commit to things that elevate me, that bring the best out of me, my potential, it is quite different energy than if I am committing to negative thoughts or something that nags or something, whatever it is. And although I am not connecting to the negativity very strongly after years of introspection, even the slightest things that put me a little bit down weighed as much as the big one. So even if I would hate somebody with all my heart, and I would just have some little thoughts about other person, were a little bit judging, not seriously, but a little bit. But on that level, it's the same energy. It's like being a little bit pregnant or not being pregnant. So negativity is just a little bit or very much. It doesn't matter. You are pregnant. So that was really an eye-opening to me to put my attention to all those things that are a little bit, little bit play. I say I am doing that, but this little thing, I can do it. I can take that one candy, or I can not being 100% committed and do something what is curious and have a good excuse for that. But those things are, I don't know the English word for it. It's just being a little bit, not fully. Commitment is like being pregnant.
I love that. I love everything you said. And you're reminding me that by knowing what your core values are, uh, you know yourself more. And you could even go into your eulogy that, I want everybody to write at some point, even if you don't share it, and describe yourself like in a way, that she was always somebody that was connected, like to
Yeah,
nature, to people. And also, if something shows up, and you feel disconnected, you're like, no, no, no. I am someone who values connection, and so I. So it becomes the core values keep you true to who you want to be. And the
yeah,
more you're in touch, core values, I'm telling you, they're like the secret to they're what I call regret resistant sealants. So
yeah,
I'm looking into that. So the more you go, this is me, the more likely you're
yeah,
going to be good in deathbed.
yeah, yeah. That's why I needed to rewrite my eulogy.
Yes, you're going to
Yeah,
the eulogy is like an ongoing autobiography you're going to be writing. And the more you get to know yourself, the more you're going to want to rewrite it. And then the more you know yourself, the more you're going to want to live that way. So it's all kind of goes up back and forth, and you'll see the process. Okay. Thank you, Laura. Next
yeah.
up, Chris. Hi, we have you up next.
Good morning.
Morning.
Ah, so um, I have been doing core values work on and off for a lot of years, and I haven't done it recently, so this is really good. I was just in a different room in my office looking for some paperwork for the consultation meeting I'm hosting next, and I found a list of core values laying in there that
Ah,
I half-heartedly did, and I'm like, things have changed. Not a lot, I mean, because they're all important, but I think what I keep coming back to is being intentional. And that plays out in just so many ways, like with the discernment, um, living in a place that's just more ease and purposeful, being more as authentic as I can be, which I think has to do, being humble and relationships and connections. So every time I've done core values, I can't narrow them down, right? So I always am like, this fits in this bucket this time around. And then I keep coming back to what's that one thing? Like, I wish there was just one word that encompassed everything. But of course, I don't wish that at the same time, right? Just all the spice of life. So I have quite a list I'm still kind of working through. And I haven't updated my eulogy yet. Something in me wants to keep finding where I've done this before. I have no clue where that stuff is at, but we'll see. I don't know if it's important or not right now. If it's meant to show up, it will. I would say my brave act from this week is probably happening right now because I was debating. I had plans earlier and I did do a crisis session with a client, which I'm totally okay with under the circumstances. I wasn't planning. That time, though, I had planned to finalize my slides for what I'm doing next here at the top of the hour. And I was like, no, your best is what you've done is good enough. Just show up for something you've committed to, like for yourself, which is this. So rather than overanalyzing and redoing and, messing things up, probably, if I'm being honest. So the school area, I do like it. I'd like to be more involved with it. And we'll see how that goes. I did notice that you grouped us with people. So I don't know if any of the people in my group are here or not. I'm going to look and see. I wrote those names down somewhere. So I'm looking forward to reaching out and connecting because I have such close colleagues and good friends from these types of groups that have carried on for well over a decade, some of them. So I love that idea. I don't know that I have anything else specific coming up. I guess just to share is I kind of had a little bit of a angst going on because I did a brain dump yesterday and didn't realize how many unfinished tasks are out there that I can't necessarily just pass off. And one of them has to do with my assistant who's worked with me full-time for a while when I had associates in my therapy practice, but then part-time for probably 8 years is going to not be working with me in this capacity at the end of the month. So we're making that transition and I'm like, all these things I didn't have to do and whatnot, figuring that out. So I'm trying to be intentional and we'll see where this goes.
I think some of the I am and so I do statements will help you in that area. And we're going to, as we keep going forward, we're going to touch upon the 5 regrets of the dying. And Chris, some of what you're saying might show up there. And so we can swing it around back to you.
Yeah. When I was reminded of those, when you shared those, I was like, oh yeah, there's reminders there for sure. So I want to reflect on those more. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, Elizabeth, also on here as Babble Better.
Yeah, that's my business name. Apparently I just keep it logged in. As that. Nobody seems to say, who are you again? So I just leave it. It's been a week. Let's see. So it's kind of like, remember not last week, but the week before, how somebody was saying that there are things that were important to them, were already done, so they need to do new things. It's I feel like that's a little bit of me / I have a little bit of conundrums all over my life right now because I'm not gonna try to cry, but when I was taking care of my mom, family is my core value. So I pretty much put my whole life on hold to take care of my mom, and it's okay, great, I'm a good daughter, and, a lot of people wouldn't do that. And then it's well, shoot, now I'm still 2 years later, still putting my life together. I didn't realize how bad it was that I really did nothing for myself. Okay, so there's that. So people might remember that eulogy wise and core values wise. But like I said, I don't have kids. I'm not married. So family has always been a big value of mine. But then my brother and his kids are I went to my brother's 2 years ago for Christmas, for the same year that my mom passed away. And he said he was going to give me something for Christmas and he never gave it to me. And the kids are 13 and 15, and they're all into, oh, I don't know about the younger one, but the older one's all into Trump and all this, like, like he's just so just brainwashed and just, I don't know, weird and into his videos. So it's like this last year I went to Costa Rica to see my family there. But so that was nice. But then it's Costa Rica, which I've never lived in. Like, do I want to go live with my like near my family when, they've got their own lives? So I can't expect them to, be in my life if I move there. But then I'm
Okay.
single, I don't have kids, and so where's the family thing? So that's one of the things I'm trying to figure out, like, how will I have family and whatever, or how will what do I do about that side of me?
Okay.
And
Well,
then,
I think we can help you with that. I want to say that I think that the best way forward, and I feel your pain. I really do. I really do. It's about who is your new family now, and what is also you had when you're taking care of somebody who's sick, it's like so intense, and you also miss them when they're gone, but also what do you fill in that intensity with is something that's coming up for me to share out loud with you, because
right.
that was it gave you purpose and meaning. And now we need something else to put your attention on in some way. So what I would have you do really is, um, I call it a eulogy, but it's also a vision for your life so you can get excited about what's out there instead of saying, look at what's missing. I have many friends who are single without kids, and I was single without kids for a long time too, and I want you to know that there's so many ways to create a life. It doesn't have to be with kids. It doesn't have to be with the family and partner. You can have a beautiful, rich, fulfilling life. I've seen examples of that. So I would encourage you to look for examples of that and to write about that and to write about if you do want to find a partner, get clear on that and focus your energy on, okay, I am somebody that I am strong could be a core value. I'm a change maker could be a core value. Who do I
Yeah.
become to create the life I want for myself? And to get clear on that. And also to look at what's in your way right now. So I would look at maybe some of the things that are coming up are uh, maybe fear, uh, it's not maybe resentment at your brother. I'm trying to come up with what's in the way and to figure out what you want to replace that with without, like, I don't want you to be in denial. I mean, you have the right to feel the negative feelings, but just to look at how to soften the edges of those feelings. I would say that because I'm not one that says, I'm not, believe me, I wrote the book How to Be Happy. Damn it. I'm like all in favor of feeling, but just softening the edges a little so it does.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not single because I never dated. I'm single because those people that I dated
I
were,
get
you
it.
know what I mean?
Hello.
I mean,
Hello.
so it's not like,
Totally. If anybody gets it, I wrote Prince Harvey syndrome. I get it. I get it. I get it. Let's,
but
we're gonna,
it's what's the other
yeah.
side of it that's interesting is that I've thought about, like, like part of it's my work, like my job, I do speech therapy, I teach toddlers, I teach parents, so a lot of that, and somebody was saying, um, the humor, and I like being funny, and I actually when I was 19, I got hit on the back of the head with like a size 13 shoe, and I was like very serious before that, and I decided to be more funny. So, but because I almost died. I had staples put in my head.
Oh,
And yeah, so you say I'm strong. Like, yeah, I've
oh
been
yeah.
through
And we're gonna help
hell, but
you with this. But
yeah. Oh, but I was gonna say though is like I find that humor is important to me, but I don't feel like people find me as funny as I try to be sometimes. Oh, but the other side, like in my Babel better, like the post that I post is like I thought that was funny, but okay, maybe nobody else did. But what's interesting though, to me that I've thought about, it's like maybe I don't know, because I've helped a lot of kids, like over probably 5,000 children since I started working, but like most of the top, like toddlers don't remember. So like I'll work with a 2-year-old for a year or two, and then I see them when they're older and they have no idea who I am. So it's like I've made so much impact, but then none of them, those same people that I impacted, have no idea that I was impacting them. So it's like I just have the internal reward, but no external reward kind of thing. It's kind of interesting, I think about, because like I know my job, I do, I have that, but
Maybe
I want
you
to have more personal
there's another
things,
way. Maybe there's a way to reframe that because you planted seeds in them that are growing now. And
Mm,
if they don't remember you, those seeds are there and you're growing them into better people. And just to
yeah.
think of yourself on those terms instead of needing the exact, validation of them remembering you. I'm going to continue because I made a vow to myself that I need to be strong because I really want to help you. But I'm just gonna just keep moving forward. But I love you. I'm glad you're here, and I really want to help you. Okay. So with that said, I think we covered everybody today. And Elizabeth, I'm really sorry, but I just wanted, but we have more weeks to come, and I am here for you. And I do have empathy for everything you're saying. Okay. So, and maybe something I'm going to say coming up is going to help you, even if, and maybe I'm going to figure out how to have more one-on-one time or little group time. Like all of this is helping me to figure out how to create this group coaching so it can help somebody who's presently feeling the struggle like you're having. So I'm going to be thinking about that too, because I feel guilty moving forward. So, okay. All right. So, as a reminder, last week we looked at Bronnie Ware's top 5 regrets of the dying, and we're going to go over them a little bit more deeply today. And we're going to look at how to brainstorm ways to make sure that these don't become any of your top 5 regrets. So you guys are all good in deathbed. And so the 5 are, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself, not the life others expected of me. I wish I hadn't worked so hard. I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. I wish that I had let myself be happier. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at each one at a time. And then we're going to analyze them. And we're going to ask the prompt, who do I need to become to make sure I do not die with these regrets? But we're going to look at them one at a time and ask that to ourselves. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to brainstorm a core value, then add it to an identity-based habit, like I spoke about in our first session. And there's a whole system here. So I want to keep coming back to it. So it becomes more of a habit for you and more even as like a reflex for you. Even when you're having a challenge, who do I need to become to, stop X from happening? Or who do I need to become to change the situation? It should be, and then think about the core value and then add it to a habit. So the template works because it connects who you believe you are with your actions. So again, I'm going to keep repeating this because repetition works, repetition works, repetition works. Your core values are your regret-resistant sealants. The more you can slather your core values onto your habits and think about them daily, you're basically going to be protecting yourself from feeling regrets later on in life. So the first one was, I wish I'd had the courage to live a life true to myself and not the life others expected of me. So I want you to ask yourself, who do you need to become to make sure you're living a life true to yourself? Now, I'm going to recommend 2 core values here, but because I want everybody to think about this as authentic to you, I want you to take a moment and just think about that before I move on to the next slide. Who do you need to become to make sure you have the courage to live a life true to yourself and not the life others expected of you? So, in my humble opinion, this is just for me, but everybody, I want you to figure out what's authentic to you. To me, the top 2 core values are bravery, to rip off that costume and say, this is me deal with it, and authenticity to fully recognize that approval from others is a crappy substitute for self-acceptance. So without both of these two values, bravery and authenticity, you risk being dragged further and further away from your truest self. And eventually you'll wake up at the end of your life realizing you were living it on someone else's terms. So here's examples of how to pair your core value with a habit, and to even think of some habits that aren't your like first instinct habits, but like something that's like a method for living that will work for you. So I am authentically me, and so I practice authenticity pauses. This is something that I've told myself. I even, somebody was like trying to sell me something on one of those calls where they say it's a free call. And I told them, I go, I need to pause and think about this. And they wanted to like have me say yes. I'm like, no, my rule is that I never say yes in the moment. I practice authenticity. I didn't say authenticity pauses, but to them, because that felt weird saying that out loud. But I thought about this. So before I jump into a new project or RSVP to an event, I pause and figure out if it's really for me, or if I'm just trying to fit in, please others, or be pressured by somebody on a sales call or whatever it is. The other core value was brave. So I am brave. And so I initiate difficult conversations that are necessary for growth and resolution. So if there's somebody in your life, you're like, oh God, I'm not, like, they're forcing me to do things I don't want to do, or I'm not showing up well with them, just use the word brave. And I am brave, and so I initiate difficult conversations. I use the word brave like a mantra sometimes, like, nope, I am brave. I'm going to do this. Sometimes just even thinking that helps you. So the next, does anybody want to say anything here, or should I just keep going? I want to feel out. I think I'll keep going. The next Bronnie Ware regret was, I wish I hadn't worked so hard. Okay. The second major regret is painful. It's about working your tush off and missing the best parts of life. Bronnie Ware saw that too many of her patients regretted how much time they lost to the ground. And the truth is, it's easy to fall into the trap of overworking because society glamorizes the hustle. So this is why I recommend you swap beast mode for best mode. Okay. So Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Sorry, I forgot to turn her off. You know what? I'm going to turn Alexa off in case she interrupts again. 1 second. It's also my way to prove to you that I was wearing pants, because I wouldn't have dared gotten up. Anyway, beast mode. Okay, so I used to be in beast mode for many reasons. I actually think it's partially, I talk about ripples later on, how we get ripples we learn from the people at our childhoods. And my father was definitely a workaholic. So I think I learned from him. But I used to wake up, chug 2 coffees. I wouldn't even eat breakfast. I just like go right into the day. And then by the end of the day, I would be like exhausted. So I glorified beast mode. But then I started to think about best mode, right? And because I'm a writer, sometimes I trick myself into the advertising chick in me tricks me with marketing words like, oh, I don't want to be in beast mode. I want to be in best mode. And I started to think like that. So it helped me. So I want to share it with you. So now I start my day with mindfulness exercises. Some of them, by the way, are death mindfulness exercises, which I will share with you at some point. I actually eat breakfast, and I just figure out what are my key priorities for the day. I take breaks. I drink water, not just coffee. That's mindful. I even have Alexa reminding me to drink more water. You might have been on a call with me when Alexa nagged me about that. And by the end of the day, I'm far more happy because I enjoyed my day throughout the day. I valued being the best mode versus beast mode. So with this in mind, if you want to avoid the work too hard regret, you must embrace these 2 core values. Discernment, it will guide you and invest your time and energy better, and fun, because it will make sure that you're not only doing things that empty you out, you're taking time to replenish your spirit and recharge your batteries. So here's an I am, and so I do statement. I am discerning, and so I treat my time at work like it's a VIP backstage pass to me. I think this way, so it helps me. I guess the advertising chick in me helps to kind of convince me, like, no, it's a back page, VIP backstage pass. Who am I letting in? What am I letting in? So I only take on projects that align with my genuine goals. I set clear boundaries for self-care, and I don't check emails after 7 p.m. at night. I was like, done, which maybe some people think 7 p.m. it should be 5 p.m., but it's 7 p.m. for me. And that helps me to make sure I'm going to tell you, because a lot of you know me from the mastermind, and I thought I can't do the mastermind while writing my book. I can't do, and I thought about it, and I want this next phase of my life to be about helping people with the ideas in this book. And so I have taken off my marketing hat and I'm putting on my Your To Die for Life hat. And that's what I'm now not doing that, really. I mean, if somebody I could help them, I might do it, but not really. I try not to. That sounds awful, but you know what I'm saying? This is my focus. So, and the next one is fun. This one I've really been embracing a lot lately. I value fun, and so I plan micro adventures weekly. Every Wednesday, I have Wild Card Wednesday, where I do something out of the ordinary. I try a new restaurant. I've been going dancing. I've been going to the theater more. I've been going to hear music. So I make it very, very mindful that I add new things into my life. So, and also I add fun into my day, even in the day. I'll take because lately my big thing is music and dancing. So I will take a music break and dance. I just wanted to keep this little slide shorter, but I'll tell you, I do little like dance breaks. And sometimes I go to this little cafe that's near me because I like the waiters there. We always have fun conversations. It's a way I can do my work, but then I have like a people moment where I'm talking because if I'm just at home alone with the 2 dogs, that's a lot of solitude. And it just turns out that this cafe has really nice and fun and interesting waiters. We always have good conversations and they play great music. So that's part of it. Next one, I wish I'd had the courage to express my feelings. So Ware noticed that unexpressed feelings were a profound source of regret in many of her deathbed patients. They wished they had spoken their truth and expressed their feelings to the people who mattered most. Unfortunately, far too many of us bite our tongues and keep our emotions bottled up. But unexpressed feelings are like soda in a shaken can. They're bound to explode into a messy burst or fizzle into flatness, leaving you feeling numb and disconnected. So to avoid this regret, you need these 2 core values: curiosity, to understand what limiting beliefs are blocking you from speaking your truth; fear of rejection, fear of being seen as weak. Who did you learn this from? Plus, you need to become curious about what awesome things might happen if you do start to express yourself more. And then bravery. You see, I keep bringing up a lot of the same core values. These are my top 7 that I'm sharing in here. My top 7 core values. Bravery is what gets you to open your mouth and say what needs to be said. And reminder, bravery isn't about lack of fear. It's about choosing to talk louder than your insecurities. So a statement might be, I am curious, and so I play devil's advocate with myself. For every feeling I suppress, I argue both sides in my journal. Why should I say this? Why shouldn't I? And again, also some of the things back here. Who taught me not to want to say this? Why am I acting this way? Why can't I speak up? What will happen if I do speak up? What will happen if I don't speak up? I use curiosity kind of like wiggle myself free from the fear of speaking up. So the mental tug of war helps clarify if my silence is protecting me or holding me back. Statement, I am brave, and so I use I feel statements in tough conversations. So if there's something I really want to say, I find a way in to say it. So it's softer. I feel this way about something, helps me. So the next regret, I wish I had stayed in touch with my friends. It's a big one for Bronnie Ware. She found that many people regretted letting precious friendships drift away or not spending enough time with the people they loved. They longed for more shared history, more laughter, more remember when moments. Instead, they watched as those who once knew them well morphed into someone they used to know. In the end, they realized that the emotional richness of relationships far outweighed the accumulation of wealth. So I believe that for protection from this regret, you need these two core values. But again, I want you to ask yourself, I'll go back and show you the slide again. Who do you need to become to stay in touch with your friends? Who do you need to become? What core values will help you to make sure you live true to staying in touch with your friends? So for me, it was gratitude and empathic love. Gratitude, so you recognize that the people in your life are part of your life's wealth. Every inside joke, every late night vent session, every remember when is an asset that makes your life feel full. And ignoring it, that's just bad investing with your time. And empathic love, to better tune into the words your loved ones are speaking so you can connect on a deeper level. Empathic love is your heart's hearing aid and therefore a life fulfillment aid. It helps you to keep the roots of your friendships healthy so these relationships thrive through all the different seasons of your life. So that will make sure your friends stay in your life. Statement, I'm grateful for my loved ones, and so I express thanks in new ways each day. So every day I find a way to make my loved ones feel appreciated, even if it's just a quick text, a small gift, or sharing a story where their presence made a difference to me, or even just sharing, I know it's corny, but like funny memes and stuff like that, or cute photos, stuff like that with them. And I am empathic, and so I acknowledge other people's battles and triumphs. I celebrate people's wins with a cheer and or a drink and offer a shoulder and ear during their losses. And I text check-ins during tough times. Like if I know somebody, like a friend of mine just had surgery, of course I'm there checking in with them. Or if something great happened, like a friend of mine just sold a book. And so I congratulated her at the moment that it happened, but then I keep in my mind, I'm asking, how's the book going? Like I check in with them about it. I make it very mindful. The next regret, this was the last regret. I wish I had let myself be happier. So I want you to look at this one and think to yourself, who do I need to become to let myself be happier? Who do I need to become? And this one hurts because people get to the end of their lives and realize, oh crap, I could have just chosen to enjoy myself more. Ware found that many patients realized too late that they had allowed worry, fear, and societal expectations to cloud the simple joys of life. And a big troublemaker behind this regret, we're all sold a lie that happiness is located somewhere out there. In a bigger house, a better job, a more perfect relationship, we're led to believe that happiness is always one promotion, one lottery win, or one crash diet away. And when happiness is always a future destination, you're basically chasing a carrot you'll never eat. And then, spoiler, you're the donkey in this metaphor. So here's the truth. Happiness is here right now, all around you. It's just buried under all the crap you've convinced yourself matters more. It's in small moments. The joy of a perfectly toasted bagel, a laugh that makes you snort, or nailing the perfect parallel park on the first try. And this, I guess, goes back to Bonnie saying being a noticer and being mindful. So if you want to dodge this fifth regret, so this, by the way, that's an example. I chose fun and gratitude, but Bonnie might choose the core value of noticer here. Again, looking at the regret. I wish that I'd let myself be happier. Who do you need to become to make sure you let yourself be happier? So you might write a noticer. You might write adventurous. You might write something that's completely not the two that I'm choosing. but I'm just giving these as examples. So for me, I say fun. This is actually one of my very top core values, right up there with empathic love. It keeps you from turning into a sad, joyless productivity machine. Stop treating fun like an afterthought. Make time to watch a dumb movie, jump in the ocean, and reconnect with the playfulness of life. And that might be good for you, Elizabeth, just to think about things that you could do to fill your cup with more fun, to change your energy and your mindset. And gratitude is an antidote to regret because it helps you to focus on what you have, not what you've lost or never achieved. Gratitude makes it easier to avoid the trap of always chasing more. So a statement, I am fun. And so I keep a fun jar filled with quick, joyful break ideas. I have this in my kitchen. I always write down little things. If I notice somebody doing something that's fun, I write it down as a possibility. So whenever I think of a fun activity, I write it down and drop it in the jar, like trying a new escape room or listening to a new podcast or taking a new dance class or trying a new home cooked recipe. If I need to pick me up, I'll just pull out an idea and just do it. It's like keeping an emergency stash of happiness. Oh, and I want to show you guys this. Somebody introduced me to somebody recently, this woman, Miriam. And first I was like, do you want to get together? You want to talk on Zoom? But she lives in New York. And she says, well, do you want to get together in real life for our first meeting? And because she came from somebody else and they thought, oh, you guys are going to love each other. I was like, oh my God. And I thought to myself, wow, I can't believe I just like automatically went for the Zoom thing, and here she is in New York. And then I said, okay, let's get together in real life. Where do you want to meet for coffee or something? And then she sent me this back, which made me fall deeply in love with her. She said, here are some in real life things I'm doing this month. And then she invited me to do something fun with her. And I was like, I like this person. She invited me to go meet her friend and go to this lecture or go listen to jazz and go to a dinner or like, look at all these different things that she's brand new bakery. So I thought this was fantastic. And I think this is a great idea if you meet somebody new. I mean, I just thought this was great. So, so for me, the other core value was grateful. And a lot of people say keep a gratitude journal, but this one's a little bit more creative. And some of you who like to doodle, like Danica, who's not here today, and Bonnie also likes to illustrate, keep a gratitude sketchbook. Or maybe some of you are visual people or just like want to switch it up from just words. Keep a gratitude sketchbook where you sketch something that makes you happy, just to change it up a little bit. So now what do you do with all this newfound wisdom? You slap all this wisdom onto your to-die list, which I've been talking about. That's something you have to write every morning when you wake up. And you could put these on as evergreens on your to-die list. And just add on other ones because you get more than one thing on a to-die list. There's room in there for like 3 or 4 things. So, but I want you to make writing a daily to-die list a regular practice by thinking about who do I need to become to, and then you could deal with something, even if it's something that's on your to-do list, you could turn it into a who do I need to become thing. Who do I need to become to? And it could be something that you grab from the to-do list, but I want you to think more long-term. I want you to use the to-die list as a to-do what matters most list. So I kind of want you, actually, I never said add this. This is the first time I'm even thinking, take something from your to-do list. But I also want to make sure that your to-die list is different. It's your to-do what matters most list that's going to make sure that you're good in deathbed, that have statements on there that have to do with deep friendships and making sure that you're pursuing the things that matter most to you on there. So that's why going through the 5 regrets of the dying might be evergreens on your to-die list, because those are things that matter most to you, not just like, hand in report or something, something that's like an obvious like a LinkedIn profile related habit. No, I want these to be more core self, personal growth, love related habits, meaningful experience type things on your to-do list. And then just keep asking yourself, who do I need to become to get everything I want in my life? Even that as a journal exercise in the morning, brainstorm the core values, and then attach it to a habit. Your to-do list needs constant updates, just like your iPhone. So keep updating it. Keep asking yourself, who do I need to become? And writing the I am, and so I do habits on it. Because the universe doesn't care if you meant to live a regret-free life. It's only paying attention to whether or not you actually did. Now, if you're saying easier said than done, I recommend you do a life audit to get it done and get rid of your crap and clutter. I know for many of us, I didn't have enough time is kind of our grown-up remix of the dog ate my homework. I didn't have enough time. But it's actually a big cop-out because complaining that we don't have enough time is basically our go-to excuse for not wanting to admit, I just didn't make it a priority. So here's a thought experiment. If time were money, would you be as cavalier about where and how you spent it? Or would you be a bit more Scrooge-like with your precious time? Chances are your time management skills would take a swift turn for the better if time were actually cold, hard crash. You'd suddenly become a time spendthrift. Unfortunately, many of us are like oblivious so-called time millionaires on the verge of going bankrupt because we're not keeping track of where our time is going. This is bizarre when you pause to think about it. After all, you put in the effort to protect your cars, your diamond jewelry, your home. When you fail to guard your time, it's as if you're leaving your front door wide open with a neon sign flashing, free stuff, come grab as much of my time as you want. You know, it'd be great. I was thinking about this. If Netflix, like a lot of us spend so much time watching Netflix, and Netflix always asks, are you still watching? Instead of asking that, they should go, hey, buddy, is this really how you want to be spending your time? And this might just snap us out of our binge watching coma and make us want to wake up to the start fact that every Netflix binge is a choice against writing that novel or calling that friend. Because if you want to live a truly fulfilling life, you got to cut out the crap and clutter and make room for the stuff that truly counts. Most of us cruise through our days on autopilot, on habit, and then we blink, and then somehow another week, month, year slips by, and all the epic stuff you planned still not done. So we need to do a life audit. That's what we're going to be working on next session. Now, admittedly, the word audit might sound like something you want to avoid as much as death itself, but stick with me here because I'm about to introduce a new version of a life audit that's going to improve your life, and it's going to be a lot more fun than an actual audit, believe me. It's going to be, I'm going to be sharing some thought-provoking questions from pinpointing your time-consuming activities to identifying the parts of your life that feel more like obligations than choices. I'm going to give you 16 life audit questions to ponder. I'm going to put them in the back end, and you're going to see them there. Now, a lot of you will look at these questions and you think, you know what? I'll answer these questions tomorrow or someday or whatever. But I hope that's not you because tomorrow's not guaranteed. Someday's not guaranteed. I mean, we covered this, right? This is a life audit. It's not a suggestion. I really, really want you to do this exercise. This is going to be your blaring wake-up call to get you to stop acting like you have all the time in the world and start crafting a life that you're jazzed about. So bolster up your core value of bravery. I am brave, and so I do these 16 questions. I answer them. You don't have to share them in school. Just write them and think about them. Be brave. Next week, we're going to discuss how to edit your life so you have more room for what matters most. Plus, I'm going to give you a speed bump tool to get you to slow down in the middle of your day and focus on if you're doing what really matters most to you. So you don't piss off future you. So you're planning your life now, living your life at your best now, so you don't piss off future you. And then I just put more core values at the end, but I'm going to include that when I put the slide, the PDF back there, why I love these core values, but it's already 12:07, so I'm not going to read them. So any questions about everything I went through today? Anybody want to share something that came up for them? Any insights? I'm here to talk it through. Anybody? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. Oh, Laura says, love the presentation, great structure. Thank you, Laura. And I'm going to put this video along with the PDF in the back end for you, along with the 16 questions that I want you to think about, jot down notes, and we're going to get to those, your answers. Next week, we're going to slash and throw out all the crap and clutter in your life that's blocking you from living a life that you're going to be proud of. And so you can be good in deathbed. Oh, PJ, are you waving to talk? Yes.
I am. Yes, please. I don't know what back end means.
Oh, in the school area,
Okay.
area,
Thank you.
the classroom area of the
Gotcha.
school.
Thanks.
Okay. So everybody have a fun weekend because you know my core value is fun. Actually, maybe I'll put that on there along with Brave. I want you to share with me next week. I'm going to add this in now. Something fun that you've done in the last week. So you have a week to go out and plot some fun stuff to report back about. And you can get started this weekend. Laura says she loves Wildcard Wednesday. So good.
I'm going to a wedding this week, so
Oh, okay. We'll have fun at the
that'll be
wedding.
fun. Yeah.
Do some dancing for me. Do some like,
Okay.
okay. Alrighty. I love you
Thank
all.
you, Karen.
Thank you.
you.
Bye.
Good to
Thank
see
you.
everybody.
Bye. Thank
Have
you.
a wonderful week.
Bye.
Too.
Sorry, I really good.